think of your job as important? Or do you think if you didn't turn up for work, nobody would actually notice? Maybe you just view your job as a way of paying the bills, and maybe you just think it's a way of keeping you occupied from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I think if we're doing jobs that we're not that interested in and we're not that motivated to do day to day, it's really hard to actually give it your all. Quite often what happens is you end up just going through the motions. If that is you right now, then now is the time to turn to the power of perspective. I've said it before in these videos, if you're going to spend 35, 40 years of your life working full time, that's over 9,000 work days. And if you're going to spend 35, 40 years of your life doing something you're not interested in, you're just plodding along in, then that's going to be over 9,000 days of complete boredom. Now let's take a job that most people think is pretty humdrum and pretty boring. Working on the checkout in a supermarket. Now I've done this job before, and trust me, there were days when I was just so bored I could actually feel my brain switching off. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, all day long. Beep, 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 would you like any cash back? And after a few hours of this, I was just ready to leave. But let's flip it and look at it from a new perspective. At the end of the day, you're serving people. You're actually helping them with their week. Let's be honest, nobody likes doing their weekly shop. Lots of people you see walking around the supermarket with kids following them around. It can actually be quite stressful. It's actually the hour of the week people look forward to the least. If you're on the checkouts and if you're actually doing your best, serving with a smile, being helpful, trying to engage in a bit of chit chat, you're actually making that person's least favourite hour of the week a lot more bearable. Let's think about something else. Let's think about being a barman. Now, for me, this would be my idea of hell. In a busy pub, I like being in bars, but working behind the bar, where there's lots of people throwing orders at you left, right and centre, I'm not one of those people that's great at remembering a lot of information all at once, and if people were giving me a long list of quite complicated drinks to make, I can imagine myself getting pretty flustered, and dealing with drunk people on a daily basis, I don't think I'd be very good at that. But think about it, people go to these places to have a good time. If you go into that environment with a kind of downbeat attitude, then that shift is going to drag. Why not try and have a good time with your customers? If you try and plug into the kind of happy energy that's going on in the bar you're working in, I guarantee you're going to have a much better time working there. There's a pub around the corner from me, and whenever I'm in there on a Saturday night, I notice that at a certain time in the evening, around 9 o'clock, the head barman actually rings a bell, and at that point all the barmen, no matter how busy it is, they'll get together and they'll actually do a shot behind the bar. Now let's imagine you do a job that isn't customer facing. Let's imagine, for example, you're a cleaner in a hotel. Now it's not the most glamorous of jobs, I'll give you that, but you are still providing a service to people. You're actually preparing rooms that some people might have saved up a lot of money to actually book. You might be preparing a room for a young family that are taking their first holiday together as a family, and think how good they're going to feel when they go into the room that you've spent some time preparing and making look nice for them. Finally, let's imagine that you're a labourer on a building site. Now, one of my friends does this for a living, and it's a really tough gig. You're outside for 12, 13, sometimes 14 hours a day. You're often working in very dirty conditions. When I meet my friend sometimes after work, he's covered in dust and soot and all sorts of stuff like that. It's also not the nicest of working environments. It's very loud, it's quite dirty, can often be quite dangerous as well. But if that's you Monday to Friday, think about the wider context of what you're actually doing. You're building something. You're building something that is going to be there for a very long time. If you're building or fitting some shops, you're actually creating job opportunities for the people who live in your town. Where I live in the centre of Bath, I'm surrounded by buildings that are hundreds of years old and are still being admired hundreds of years after they were built. That could be something that you're building right now. Now this might seem a bit airy-fairy to some people, but trust me, if you go into your day of work focusing on the negative stuff, focusing on how boring and how monotonous your job can seem at times, then your day is going to be boring. If you try and focus on the wider good that your job is doing, trust me, the bad bits won't register. So this week, start thinking about what your job means in a wider context. Start thinking about the positives that it's bringing to people. Now, as always, I'd like you to leave me a comment. What sort of positive things can you think of that your job is bringing to a wider group of people? What things are you going to focus on this week when the day is seeming a bit dull? As always, leave us a comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next time. If you found this useful or helpful, then like and subscribe to the channel. You can also find us at Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.